It's my favorite stage of life is this stage of life. I would say that first for everyone listening. I look at life in seasons. It's like I'm a big believer that the three skills we need to teach our kids or ourselves, especially in a world that in the next 5 to 10 years will have more change than any time in human history, between nanotechnology and AI and robotics and everything else. The world is going to change like never before. So how do you have an advantage there? You have to master three skills. You have to master pattern recognition so that you're not fearful.
Yeah.
A lot of fear is because you think this is the only time this happened. Politically, we'll never have been this way. It's bullshit. I can show you stuff that makes Republicans and Democrats look nice to each other from the past. When you recognize a pattern, you go, okay, this has happened before. And seasons are one of those patterns, right? And then you're not fearful. And then the second part, it's not random. The second skill is mastering really pattern utilization. That's what gives you power in your life. Because now a baby can't get out of this room until they recognize almost all rooms have an exit. And if I look around there, it's shaped a certain way. And there's a handle that if I pull it, I can get out of here. If you don't, you're trapped. So pattern recognition is power. At a little level, get out of the room. At a big level, if you look at somebody that's great in business, like how do I have all these companies? I couldn't even run one company with 5 employees. I was trying to do $1 million in business. I wasn't hitting it. And I was stressed out of my mind to now have 114 companies doing 10 billion. The difference is pattern recognition. It's like understanding and then learning how to use those patterns in those situations. So if you're good in business, there's certain patterns. If you're good at investing, there's certain patterns. If you've got good mental health, there's certain patterns. If you're physically well, there's certain patterns. If somebody's a good dancer, they recognize how to use patterns to produce a specific result. Spielberg has made movies for 40 years. He knows if I'm moving slowly like this, he knows if I go fast, what'll happen. If I pull back, if I bring the music up here. So anyone that you probably respect and like, doesn't just recognize patterns. They got great at using them. But the third level for me is pattern, a creation, where you really, it's like if you played music, you did it usually by playing someone else's music. Beethoven, Bach, whoever you did, you learned someone else's patterns. And you did that long enough, you could use it. And then one day you start to come through. You start to become a creator, right? We stand on the shoulders of the people before us. And so those 3 skills are how you can compete or do well. And I want that for my 51-year-old and I want my 4-year-old. Having said that, you don't recognize as many patterns when you're 25, to answer your question, right? And I'm proud of the father I was. I mean, I got married, my first marriage, to a woman that was 12 years my senior, and she'd been married twice before me. She had kids from both husbands, and she moved in with me, and she was so unhappy, and I was like, bring them here. And I adopted all those kids. So if you can imagine, I was